see me hungry.
It's my last name dot first name at gmail.com.
Oh, I love whipped Ogres eat nature, not parfaits.
Be sure to collect all of the eyeballs for snacks on your trip.
What is the recommendation of this game?
E for everybody.
What? Oh, the eyeballs. How do I... Oh, that's chocolate. Oh,
Over here! Help!
no way. What? I know I'm pulling it.
There it is. Subject, Shrek. The forest around us was dark and misty. I could feel my heart beating away in my chest. The cool air stuck to my skin, increasing the feeling of claustrophobia. I could sense his presence behind me, cold, stoic, silent. He was waiting for me to speak. You're impossibly fast and strong. I turned to face him, but he was no longer standing there. Your skin is deep green, ice cold, like condensation on warm glass. Your eyes change color, and sometimes you speak like you're from a different land. I turned again. He stood in front of me now, close to my face. He looked down. Out of shame? Who could say? You always eat, I continued. You're constantly drunk. You never come out in the sunlight. And you said no to the trip to the far, far away after I told you where it was, because of the treaty. He finally stuck my eyes. I stepped closer. My heart was in my throat. He was intoxicating. How old are you? I asked. Finally, he spoke. 17. I almost laughed. How long have you been 17? A while, he replied. I knew I had to be brave. I struggled to inhale. I know what the swamp ones are. What you are. Say it. Out loud. Say it. He demanded. How could I resist this man? Fear almost overtook me. Still, I managed to whisper, Ogre. I looked up at him, his giant green body drawing me in, filling me with feelings I had never felt before. Feelings I had no name for. Are you afraid? He asked. No. Then asked me the most basic question. What do we eat? He was trying to be menacing, but it wouldn't work on me. You won't hurt me, I said. You're different. He grabbed my hand. Where are we going? I asked. To the top of the mountain. You need to see what I really am. What I look like in the harsh light of the sun. He pulled me along determinedly. I resist, trying to pull back, but he was too strong. But you'll die. Myth, he said. You need to see the truth. Are you afraid? He asked again. No, I reaffirmed. Then come with me. Someplace no one can protect you. Where I could do what I've wanted to do from the first moment I met you. He stepped closer to me, eradicating the distance between us. I'm not afraid. Did I say this for his benefit? Or mine? You should be. He pulled me onto his back. It was a little awkward at first, trying to wrap his stubby legs around my stubby legs around his large body, but I was determined to make this work. He took off. We were going impossibly fast. The wind whispered through my mane. I closed my eyes in an effort to keep the bugs out of them. It was fruitless, as they instead entered my mouth. Are you afraid? He bellowed. No, this was a lie. I clung desperately around his neck as we climbed higher and higher. All I could feel was his cold, moist skin against my fur. The air grew colder as we reached the top of the mountain. Suddenly, I found myself on the ground, alone. Shrek? I called out. Where are you? He stepped out from behind a tree. His eyes were closed, and he stood perfectly still in the sunlight. His skin glistened like sweat under the rays of the sun. This is what I am, he said, as if I was supposed to be disgusted. Little did he know, I loved sweaty men. You're Beautiful. Oh, there's more chapters. That's good.
No, this one goes on for a while.
How many chapters are there?
The whole thing's
Oh, there's only two. Two on the... Oh, okay.
Now that hoof tape.
Chapter 2. Now I'm a believer. I was standing in an empty room. There were 4 doors, one on each wall of the room. I couldn't remember how I got there, but I knew I wanted to leave. I opened the door in front of me, but there was no room beyond it, just a blank wall. I closed the door and turned to the next one. Again, I opened the door and found nothing but a wall. I opened all 4 doors, circling around the room trying to find a way out, but there didn't appear to be one. Suddenly, the walls I thought were white began to change color. At the same time, I realized I wasn't alone in the room. Someone else was there, always just out of sight, lurking behind my shoulder and breathing down my neck. I recognized the onion scent of Shrek's mouth. The walls had turned a dark green and began closing in on me. "Shrek!" I yelled. "Shrek, please let me out!" The walls had turned a dark green and began closing in on me. "Shrek!" I yelled. "Shrek, please let me out!" Still, he stayed out of sight, hiding and laughing. I tried to open one of the doors again, and in front of me was a mountain of green slime. It rushed towards me, covering me. I couldn't breathe. I awoke with a start. Sitting up in my bed, I was covered in sweat, heaving, and feeling just a tiny bit turned on. Ugh. It took me a moment to get my bearings. I sensed something in the corner of my room, watching me. I turned and saw, say, a large shadow. When I flicked on my lamp, however, nothing was there.
Makes your team invulnerable for a limited.
The next morning, my alarm went off at 6 a.m. School. After that, Friday, the unforgettable afternoon I spent with Shrek. My weekend had gone by in the days. I had no way to contact him outside of school, so that Monday morning, I shot out of bed. I got ready quickly and went downstairs. "Donkey!" a voice called. It was my human father, Charlie. I recently moved to Forks, Washington, to live with him. I previously lived in Arizona with my mother, but she had married another donkey, and I was giving them some time to themselves. She worked better with men of her own species. My horrifying appearance as a half-human, half-donkey should be evidence enough that interspecies relationship shouldn't work. "Hey, Dad," I responded. While I was ugly and in near constant pain, today I couldn't be happier. I was going to see Shrek, who didn't seem disgusted by my appearance like the other kids. "Have a good day at school," Charlie said. I mentally forgave him for not looking at me while he said it.
She just opened this freaking gate with her ass. She jumped on the switch with her butt, and then pulled it down with her butt, and then did the back somersault off of it. Because I guess that's how Fiona opens switches.
Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to this. And also, for anyone watching the stream, no, the game is just pretty choppy.
Yeah, no, that is actually the game.
Yeah, the game is just, like, super choppy. It's... I would say we're probably at, like, 18, 20 frames per second.
Yeah, and they designed it this way for some reason. Maybe we need to chop down this guy.
"Have a good day at school," Charlie said. I mentally forgave him for not looking at me while he said it. Sometimes I had a hard time even looking at myself in the mirror. Besides, I knew this would be a good day. I would get to see Shrek. He wasn't there. In biology, I thought he might have slept in. I thought that I'd see him at lunchtime. However, 5th hour rolled around, he still wasn't there. And the day after that, and the day after that. I asked one of my friends if she knew where he was. "Who are you?" she asked. It was then that I realized that I had never actually seen or talked to this person before. Still, I needed to know. Sometimes he's not here on nice days. That's why the Sun Cult is so huge here. Monsters like him shouldn't be allowed to go to school. I decided then to stop thinking of this girl as a friend and promptly told her so. This led to her again asking who I was and if I'd like to join the Sun Cult as well, which I politely declined. It was 5 days until I saw Shrek again. So this is a whole new level of Punch.